the heart of Umuofia, a small Igbo village nestled between ancient Iroko trees, the air buzzed with unease. Elder Nneka, a wise woman of 80 winters, walked with her carved staff, her white hair glowing under the moon. The villagers whispered of a strange creature seen in the forest, a being with snakes for hair, whose gaze turned men to stone. Neca, known for her connection to the spirits, felt a chill. She had heard of Monalisa, a cursed spirit from tales her grandmother told, banished long ago. Now, it seemed, Monalisa had returned to haunt Umuofia. The next morning, screams echoed from the village square. Chinedu, a young hunter, was found frozen mid-step, his body cold as stone, his eyes wide with terror. The villagers gathered, murmuring prayers to the gods. Neca examined Chinedu, her heart heavy. "This is the work of Monalisa," she declared, her voice steady but grave. The elders nodded, recalling the legend. Monalisa, once a beautiful maiden, had defied the gods and was cursed to wander as a monster. Neca knew the village's survival depended on her. She resolved to confront the spirit, even if it meant facing her fears. That night, Neca sat by her fire, her heart filled with the scent of burning herbs. She drank a potion of bitter cola and palm wine, seeking a vision from the ancestors. In her trance, she saw a forest clearing bathed in golden light, where Monalisa slithered, her snake hair hissing. Monalisa's voice echoed, "I seek justice for my pain." Neca awoke, her hands trembling. The ancestors whispered that Monalisa's curse could only be broken by understanding her suffering. Neca knew she had to journey to the forest, armed with courage and the wisdom of her people. Neca called a meeting at the village square, under the ancient baobab tree. The villagers, clad in colorful wrappers and beads, listened as she spoke of her vision. "Monalisa is angry, but her heart can be reached," Neca said. The men sharpened their machetes, but Neca shook her head. "This is not a battle of blades, but of the spirit." She asked for offerings, kola nuts, yams, and palm oil, to appease the gods. Young Amaka, a brave girl of 16, volunteered to accompany Neca. The village blessed them, praying for their safe return from the perilous journey. At dawn, Neca and Amaka set out, their feet treading the narrow path to the forest. The air grew thick with mist, and the trees whispered secrets. Amaka clutched her mother's amulet, a small carved tortoise, for protection. Neca hummed an Igbo song of courage, her staff tapping the earth rhythmically. They passed a stream where women once washed clothes, now abandoned in fear of Monalisa. Amaka's heart raced as she heard a faint hiss in the distance. Neca's eyes narrowed, she knew they were close. The forest seemed alive, watching their every step with unseen eyes. As they reached a clearing, the ground trembled. Monalisa emerged from the shadows, her serpentine body coiled, her snake hair writhing. Her eyes glowed with a fiery rage. "Why do you come, old woman?" Monalisa hissed, her voice like a storm. Amaka froze, but Neca stood firm, her staff glowing with a soft light. "I come to understand your pain, Monalisa," Neca replied. The creature laughed, a sound that chilled the air. "You cannot undo what the gods have done," she roared, lunging forward. Neca raised her staff, and a golden shield of light protected them. Monalisa paused, her snakes hissing softer now. Neca's calm demeanor stirred something in her. "Speak, then," Monalisa said, her voice bitter. She began her tale. Centuries ago, she was a maiden named Adaeze, beloved in her village. She had loved a man named Okono, but he betrayed her, offering her to the gods to gain power. The gods, angered by her defiance, cursed her into this form. "I was cast out, my beauty turned to horror," Monalisa wept. Neca listened, her heart aching. She knew healing Monalisa's pain required more than words, it needed a sacrifice of the heart. Amaka, moved by Monalisa's story, stepped forward. "I am sorry for your pain," she said, her voice trembling but sincere. Monalisa's snakes hissed, but her gaze softened. "Why should I trust you, child?" she asked. Amaka held out her amulet, the carved tortoise. "This belonged to my mother, who taught me to see the good in all. I believe you can be free." Monalisa hesitated, her snakes curling inward. Neca saw a flicker of hope in the creature's eyes. She knew Amaka's innocence might be the key to breaking the curse that bound Monalisa. Neca placed the offerings, kola nuts, yams, and palm oil, before Monalisa. "These are for the gods, to show our respect," she said. She chanted an ancient prayer, calling on Amadioha, the god of justice, to witness their plea. The air shimmered, and a warm wind blew through the clearing. Monalisa's snakes grew still, as if listening. "The gods abandoned me," she whispered, but Neca shook her head. "The gods are just, but they test us. Let us help you find peace." Monalisa's eyes glistened with unshed tears, her heart torn between rage and a longing for redemption. Monalisa's voice grew cold. "If you truly wish to help, you must prove your trust," she said. She pointed to a dark cave nearby. "Inside lies a mirror that shows one's true heart. Look into it, old woman." Neca nodded, her steps steady as she entered the cave. The mirror glowed, revealing her life, her sacrifices, her love for her people. Monalisa watched, her snake silent. "You are pure of heart," she admitted, her voice softer. Neca emerged, her face serene. "Now, will you trust us?" she asked. Monalisa hesitated, her curse weakening under Neca's unwavering faith. Monalisa turned to Amaka. "You too must face the mirror, child," she said. Amaka's heart pounded as she entered the cave. The mirror showed her fears, losing her family, failing her village, but also her courage and kindness. She emerged, tears in her eyes but a smile on her face. Monalisa's snakes drooped, their hissing faint. "You are both true," Monalisa whispered. The air grew warmer, the forest less oppressive. Neca knew they were close to breaking the curse, but Monalisa's pain ran deep. She needed to confront the source of her suffering, the betrayal that had cursed her. Monalisa continued her story. Okonkwo, her lover, had sought power by sacrificing her to the gods. He had lied, claiming Adaeze had stolen sacred artifacts. The gods, in their wrath, transformed her into Monalisa, a creature of vengeance. "I swore to punish all who cross my path," she said, her voice breaking. Neca nodded, understanding the depth of her pain. "Okonkwo's betrayal was his sin, not yours," she said. "Let us help you find peace." Monalisa's snake stirred, but her gaze softened. She longed for freedom, but fear held her back. Neca knew the next step would be perilous. Neca knelt, her hands on the earth, calling to the ancestors. The ground glowed, and a voice like thunder spoke, "Monalisa's curse can be broken, but only through forgiveness." The ancestors revealed that Okonkwo's spirit still lingered, bound to the forest, unable to pass on. Neca shared this with Monalisa, whose snakes hissed in anger. "Forgive him." "Never," she roared. But Amaka stepped forward, her voice gentle. "If you hold on to hate, you'll never be free." Monalisa's eyes flickered with doubt. The ancestors' words echoed in her mind, stirring a longing for peace she had long forgotten. Neca, Amaka, and Monalisa set out to find Okonkwo's spirit. The forest grew darker, the air heavy with sorrow. They reached a gnarled tree, its roots twisting like hands. Neca chanted, and the tree shimmered, revealing Okonkwo's spirit, gaunt and hollow-eyed. "Adaeze," he whispered, seeing Monalisa. She lunged, her snake snapping, but Neca's staff glowed, holding her back. "Hear him out," Neca urged. Okonkwo fell to his knees, tears streaming. "I was wrong, Adaeze. I sought power and lost everything. Monalisa's snakes hissed, but her eyes filled with tears. The path to forgiveness had begun. Okonkwo's spirit spoke, his voice trembling. I betrayed you, Adaeze, for power I never gained. The gods punished me too. I am trapped here, unable to rest. Monalisa's snakes writhed, but her gaze softened. You took everything from me, she whispered. Okonkwo nodded, his form fading. I beg your forgiveness, though I do not deserve it. Neca placed a hand on Monalisa's coiled body. Forgiveness is not for him, but for you, she said. Monalisa's tears fell, the first in centuries. The forest seemed to sigh, as if the gods themselves were watching, waiting for her choice. Monalisa's snakes grew still, her eyes locked on Okonkwo's fading spirit. I hated you for so long, she said, her voice raw. But I am tired of this pain. She turned to Neca and Amaka, their faces full of hope. I forgive you, Okonkwo, she whispered. A golden light enveloped the clearing, and Okonkwo's spirit smiled, fading into the ether. Monalisa's snakes began to fall away, turning to dust. Her serpentine form shimmered, slowly transforming. Neca and Amaka watched in awe as the curse began to lift, the forest glowing with a newfound peace. As the light faded, Monalisa stood as Adaeze once more, a beautiful woman with dark eyes and flowing hair. She wept, touching her face, feeling human again. I am free, she whispered. Neca smiled, her staff dimming. The gods have seen your heart, she said. Amaka ran to Adaeze, embracing her. The forest, once dark and oppressive, now bloomed with flowers, the air filled with birdsong. Adaeze turned to Neca. How can I repay you? She asked. Neca shook her head. Live well, child. That is enough. The trio began their journey back to the village. The village erupted in cheers as Neca, Amaka, and Adaeze emerged from the forest. The elders, seeing Adaeze's beauty, knew the curse was broken. Chinedu, the hunter turned to stone, stirred, his body warming as the spell lifted. The villagers gathered, offering thanks to the gods. Adaeze knelt before Neca, tears in her eyes. You gave me my life back, she said. Neca lifted her chin. You gave yourself life by forgiving. The village prepared a feast, with drums and dancing under the stars, celebrating the return of peace and the triumph of compassion over vengeance. The feast was a sight to behold, tables laden with pounded yam, egusi soup, and roasted goat. The villagers danced to the rhythm of the talking drums, their voices raised in song. Adaeze, now welcomed as a sister, shared her story, her laughter mingling with the children's. Neca watched, her heart full. Amaka, adorned with beads, danced with the other girls, her bravery the talk of the night. The elders blessed the gathering, pouring libations to the gods. Umuofia had faced darkness and emerged stronger, a testament to the power of unity and understanding in the face of evil. Adaeze decided to stay in Umuofia, building a small hut near the stream. She planted a garden, her hands working the earth with love. The villagers, once fearful of her, now sought her wisdom, for she had seen both the gods' wrath and their mercy. Adaeze often visited Neca, bringing fresh yams and palm wine as thanks. Amaka became her closest friend, the two often seen laughing by the river. Adaeze's presence brought a new energy to the village, a reminder that even the deepest wounds could heal with time, forgiveness, and the support of a loving community. Neca gathered the children under the baobab tree, her voice soft but firm. Monalisa's story teaches us that anger binds us, but forgiveness sets us free, she said. The children listened, their eyes wide. She spoke of the gods' justice, the power of compassion, and the strength found in unity. Amaka, sitting among them, added, we must always seek to understand, even when we fear. Neca nodded, proud of the girl's wisdom. The lesson spread through Umuofia, a guiding principle for generations. Nneka knew her time was nearing its end, but her teachings would live on. A year later, Umuofia held a festival to honor the day Monalisa was freed. Villagers wore their finest clothes, their wrappers vibrant with color. They danced around a bonfire, singing songs of Nneka's bravery and Adaeze's redemption. Adaeze led a procession to the forest, where they planted a tree in the clearing, a symbol of new beginnings. Amaka carved a tortoise into its bark, a tribute to her mother's amulet. The festival became an annual tradition, a reminder of the village's triumph over darkness. Neca watched from her heart at peace, knowing Umuofia would never forget. Amaka grew into a wise young woman, her courage during the journey earning her respect. She often helped Adaeze in her garden, the two sharing stories of the past. Amaka began training with the village healer, learning the ways of herbs and spirits. She wore her mother's amulet proudly, a symbol of her lineage. The elders saw in her the makings of a future leader, much like Neca. Amaka vowed to protect Umuofia, to ensure no curse would ever threaten her people again. Her bond with Adaeze grew stronger, a friendship forged in the fires of a shared trial. Adaeze became a storyteller, sharing her journey with the village children. She spoke of her time as Monalisa, the loneliness, the rage, and the freedom she found in forgiveness. The children listened, enthralled, learning the value of compassion. Adaeze's garden flourished, a symbol of her new life. She often visited Chinedu, the hunter she had once turned to stone, bringing him flowers as an apology. Chinedu forgave her, and they became friends, their laughter a testament to healing. Adaeze's presence in Umuofia became a beacon of hope, showing that even the darkest hearts could find light again. Neca felt her strength waning, her body tired from years of service. She called Amaka and Adaeze to her hut, her voice weak but warm. "You two are my legacy," she said, handing Amaka her staff. "Protect Umuofia with the same heart you showed Monalisa." She gave Adaeze a small pouch of seeds. "Plant these, and let them grow as your spirit has." That night, Neca passed peacefully, her spirit joining the ancestors. The village mourned, but her teachings lived on in Amaka and Adaeze, who vowed to honor her memory through their actions. As Neca's spirit ascended, the ancestors welcomed her with open arms. They blessed Umuofia, sending rains that made the crops flourish. The villagers felt her presence in the wind, in the songs of the birds. Amaka, holding Neca's staff, felt a surge of strength, knowing her mentor watched over them. Adaeze planted the seeds Neca had given her, and they grew into a grove of iroko trees, a sacred place for the village. The ancestors' blessing was a sign that Umuofia had earned the gods' favor, their unity and compassion a light that would shine for generations. Amaka took on Neca's role, her wisdom guiding Umuofia through challenges. She mediated disputes, healed the sick, and taught the children the ways of the ancestors. Her staff, once Neca's, glowed with the same light, a symbol of her authority. Adaeze supported her, her stories inspiring the village to remain compassionate. Together, they faced droughts and storms, their bond unbreakable. Amaka's leadership was marked by kindness, a reflection of the lessons she learned from Neca. Umuofia thrived under her care, a village united by the shared memory of Monalisa's redemption and the power of forgiveness. Adaeze's grove became a place of pilgrimage, where villagers sought peace and wisdom. She carved symbols into the trees, telling her story through art. Children played in the shade, their laughter a reminder of the joy she had found. Adaeze grew old, her hair graying, but her spirit remained vibrant. She wrote her story in a book, leaving it for future generations. Her legacy was one of redemption, a testament to the power of second chances. Adaeze passed surrounded by loved ones, her heart full, knowing she had turned her curse into a blessing for Umuofia. Amaka trained a young girl named Ifeoma to take her place, passing down Neca's staff and teachings. Ifeoma, bright and brave, learned the songs and rituals, her spirit as fierce as Amaka's. The children of Umuofia grew up hearing the story of Monalisa, Adaeze's redemption, and Neca's courage. They played in Adaeze's grove, their laughter echoing through the trees. The village remained strong, its traditions unbroken. Ifeoma vowed to honor the legacy of those before her, ensuring Umuofia's values of compassion and unity would endure. The next generation carried the torch, their hearts lit by the past. Years later, a drought struck Umuofia, the rivers drying and crops wilting. Ifeoma, now the village's leader, called a meeting under the baobab tree. The villagers, their faces etched with worry, looked to her for guidance. Ifeoma remembered Neca's teachings, unity and faith could overcome any trial. She led a procession to Adaeze's grove, where they prayed to the ancestors. The air shimmered, and a soft rain began to fall, the first in months. The villagers cheered, their hope restored. Ifeoma smiled, knowing the spirits of Neca and Adaeze watched over them, guiding Umuofia through every storm. To celebrate the rain, Umuofia held a dance in Adaeze's grove. The villagers wore white, their bodies painted with chalk, a symbol of purity. The drums beat a steady rhythm, and Ifeoma led the dance, her movements graceful and powerful. The children splashed in the puddles, their laughter mingling with the rain. The elders poured libations, thanking the gods and ancestors. The rain dance became a new tradition, a reminder of the village's resilience. Ifeoma felt Neca's spirit in the wind, guiding her steps. Umuofia's unity shone brighter than ever, a beacon of hope in the face of hardship. That night, Ifeoma drank a potion of bitter cola, seeking a vision. She saw Neca and Adaeze standing in the grove, their smiles warm. "You have done well," Neca said. Adaeze added, "Teach them to forgive, as I was taught." Ifeoma awoke, her heart full. She shared the vision with the village, her words a reminder of their shared history. The villagers listened, their faith renewed. Ifeoma knew her role was not just to lead, but to inspire. She vowed to keep Neca and Adaeze's lessons alive, ensuring Umuofia remained a place of compassion and strength. Travelers passing through Umuofia heard the tale of Monalisa and carried it to other villages. The story of Neca's courage, Adaeze's redemption, and Amaka's leadership became a legend across Igbo land. Bards sang of the village that faced a monster and found a sister, their voices echoing in markets and festivals. Umuofia became known as a place of wisdom, where forgiveness triumphed over vengeance. Ifeoma welcomed visitors, sharing the village's history with pride. The story inspired others to seek peace, to heal old wounds. Umuofia's light spread, a testament to the power of compassion in a world often filled with darkness. Adaeze's grove grew into a sacred space, its iroko trees towering over the village. Villagers came to pray, to meditate, to find peace. Ifeoma carved a stone at the entrance, inscribed with the words, "Forgiveness heals." The grove became a place of healing, where feuds were settled and hearts mended. Children learned the story of Monalisa at its roots, their voices reciting the tale with pride. Ifeoma often sat there, her staff by her side, feeling the spirits of Neca and Adaeze. The grove was Umuofia's heart, a living reminder of the village's journey from darkness to light. Ifeoma grew old, her hair as white as Neca's had been. She passed her staff to a young man named Chakuma, her chosen successor. "Lead with heart," she told him, her voice steady. Ifeoma's time in Umuofia had been marked by peace, her leadership a reflection of the lessons she learned. She passed in the grove, surrounded by the village she loved. The villagers mourned, but her legacy lived on in Chakuma, in the grove, in the stories told by the fire. Ifeoma's life showed that true strength lay in compassion, a lesson Umuofia would carry forever. Chakuma faced his first challenge as leader, a dispute between two families over land. He brought them to the grove, where they sat under the iroko trees. "Remember Monalisa," he said, recounting Adaeze's story. The families listened, their anger softening. They agreed to share the land, their hands clasped in peace. Chakuma smiled, knowing the grove's magic had worked. He led Umuofia with the same heart as those before him, ensuring the village remained a place of unity. The story of Monalisa continued to guide them, a beacon in times of conflict, a reminder of the power of forgiveness. Chakuma started a new tradition, an eternal flame in the grove, lit to honor Neca, Adaeze, Amaka, and Eumia. The flame burned day and night, tended by the children, a symbol of Umuofia's enduring spirit. Villagers gathered around it, sharing stories of the past, their voices a chorus of memory. The flame became a pilgrimage site, drawing people from far and wide. Chakuma watched, his heart full, knowing Umuofia's light would never fade. The eternal flame was a promise, to the gods, to the ancestors, to the future, that compassion and unity would always guide the village. Generations passed, but the story of Monalisa remained alive in Umuofia. The grove, the flame, the festival, all kept the memory fresh. Children grew up reciting the tale, their voices carrying the wisdom of their ancestors. The village thrived, its traditions a blend of old and new. Chakuma's successors led with the same heart, ensuring Umuofia's legacy endured. The story became a proverb, forgive as Adaeze forgave, and you will find peace. Umuofia's light spread across Igbo land, a testament to the power of compassion, unity, and the courage to face darkness with an open heart. In 2025, Umuofia remains a place of tradition, though modernity has touched its edges. The grove is now a heritage site, visited by tourists and scholars. The eternal flame still burns, tended by the village youth. The story of Monalisa is taught in schools, a lesson in forgiveness and resilience. Chakuma's descendants lead Umuofia, their hearts guided by the past. The village holds its festival each year, the drums echoing through the forest. Umuofia stands as a symbol of hope, its story a reminder that even in a changing world, the values of compassion and unity endure. The story of Monalisa teaches us that forgiveness is the key to freedom. Adaeze's journey shows that holding on to anger binds us, but letting go heals us. Umuofia's unity and compassion turned a curse into a blessing, proving that understanding can conquer fear. Let this tale inspire you to forgive, to seek peace in your own life. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tales of wisdom and courage from Igbo land. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the spirit of Umuofia alive together.